Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Today, I do appreciate you stopping by. Today's beer comes from Bent Hill Brewing. These guys are up in Vermont. This is their Double Coconut Porter, an 8%er, an American porter. This comes from Greg, and he writes on this, looking for some quality craft beer from Vermont? This place suggests you get bent. Humor worthy of Hoof-Hearted. This place likes to experiment and seem to know what they're doing. Another package store purchase. So he did send me another one. I think it is the Get Bent, but I don't know. We have a brewery around here, Parkway, that does one called Get Bent Mountain IPA, because the mountain right over there on the other side of the river is Bent Mountain. So must be a lot of Bent Mountains around. But anyway, I do appreciate Greg picking this up and sending it to me. Let me mark this thing off so I know that I have reviewed it. And let's get on with this one. Let's jump over to Untapped and see what they say. They say they're calling it an 8.8%. I don't think that's correct. The label on the front of it says 8%, so very unusual for Untapped to have the wrong information, but they do on this one. And Beer Advocate has it listed as an 8%. No, I take that back. They have it listed as an 8.8%. So evidently they've done this a couple different times, but this particular one, which doesn't have a date on it, is an 8%er, not an 8.8%. So it is what it is. A lot of times you get some misinformation, especially if they brew these in several different batches or several different years, and the recipe changes a little bit, or the alcohol changes. Whether they use the same ingredients, shit happens, man. I mean, they can use identical, and the ABV will come out a little bit different depending on whatever. So I have had that happen to me. Brewed the same beer. This one's going to be a 7.5%, and the next one might be a 7.8%, using the same ingredients, or going from maybe a crystal 10 to a crystal 30, or whatever. I mean, you might change one small variant of the beer, and it'll change the ABV of the beer. So, and the IBU too, depending on what hops you're using. So, well, let's get on with this one. This is the final beer of the evening for me today. And a lot of people think porters and stouts, dark beers, are wintertime beers, and I don't. I like these beers year round. I like to finish up the evening with a darker beer, whether it's a stout or a porter or an imperial version of one or the other, or even a bourbon barrel version of it. Even it might be 90 degrees outside, but I still like that taste. I like that mouthfeel on those big dark beers. So, we've gone over everything. I don't have the IBUs, but even if I did, both of these sites have the wrong ABV, so I don't think it would be correct for this beer. It's not written on this beer. So, and I don't have a commercial description. There's probably one on the can here. Organic coconut roasted here at the brewery is used in this double porter. In this take on our original coconut porter, toastiness, subtle smoke, and a pleasant amount of roasted coconut added during the secondary fermentation give this beer a unique and complex character. Enjoy. So, very nice. And they are in Braintree, Vermont. So, not sure I've had anything from this brewery, but he has sent me several from this brewery this time. So we have another one, I think, in there from this brewery that we're going to be doing. So let me jump over here and get ready to do the pour. And I think we are ready. It's time. Let's pop the top on this bad boy and get this thing into the glass. While I pour this, guys, big 16-ounce can, I'll tell you, food pairing cuisine is barbecue, cheeses are buttery, brie, good Havarti Swiss, general chocolate, dessert, digestive, meat, beef, smoked meat, grilled meat. Glassware to pint, backernonic tumbler, mug, sign, Sidel. I'm using my favorite tulip glass. This says not recommended for extended cellaring, but I don't see anything about any coffee or anything. I don't know why you couldn't keep this beer for a while. A little bit left in the can, not much. Not much of a pour. Poured it very easy. I didn't want 5 fingers of head. Good looking beer. And it is pretty dark, guys. Just a slight hint of some red rubbiness down here on the thin part of the glass. To the nose we go. Rich roasted malt. Hints of bittersweet chocolate. I'm actually getting a little bit of coffee on it too, guys, and it doesn't say anything about any coffee being used, but I am getting a little coffee on the nose. Not so much coconut on the nose right now, or dark fruit. It's cold right out of the fridge, so basically what I'm getting right now is the roasted malt and a slight hint of some bittersweet chocolate. And coffee. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Greg. That's got a strong bitterness to it, and a little bit of, I'm getting a little bit of venomous grapes on it. He said. Maybe a ever so slight hint of some coconut. I was expecting more coconut than I am getting, especially when it says double coconut porter on there. And the sad part about it, I bought it at the beer store and it doesn't have a date on it, so I don't know how old this beer is, guys. But we're going to do a back end pour here, get it into the glass, let it warm up, go outside on the deck, fire up my old stogie, and let it warm up and see if any of that coconut comes out and gets more substantial than what I'm getting now. Right now, I am unimpressed, and that's very disappointing because Greg usually sends me some outstanding world-class beers, but he has no control over what he buys at the beer store, just like I don't when I buy it at the beer store here, especially if it doesn't have a date on it. So I don't know if the coconut will fade over time or what. So let me sip on this and we'll come back and figure out where it's going to end up. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just to the left here. I'll have to be honest with you guys. I think this is the first beer that Greg has sent me that I have not been impressed with. Guys, to be straight up honest with you, I'm not getting hardly any of the coconut, especially for something that has double coconut written on the front label. I find it very thin and watery, which usually the lower ABV porters are. But once you get to the 8% and above porters, they usually have a pretty hefty, thick mouthfeel, and I don't know how old the beer is, guys. It doesn't have a date or a vintage on it, and it is distributed. He bought it at a craft beer store, I guess. I would not buy this beer if it was available here. Not for what I am drinking right now, not knowing how old the beer is. So, Greg, I am so sorry, my brother. This is an unimpressive beer to me. For what it says it should be, or what it could be, it tastes like a homebrew to me. It does. I mean, I have brewed beers better than this in this style. It tastes like it's been aged in some kind of wine barrels. I'm getting a lot of grapes and hardly any coconut. I'm just being straight up honest, guys. It does have a nice rich roasted malt aroma. But even now that it's warmed up, been sipping on it 30 minutes or so, still not getting any coconut, just a slight hint of a little bit of coffee on the nose. I'm not even getting the coffee on the taste. So I don't know if the beer is a little old and it has lost its coconut presence. Unimpressive to me, guys. Final chug. The alcohol is very well hidden, I will say that. I'm not getting any kind of booziness for an 8% beer. But I was expecting a lot more from these guys here since Greg picked it up and sent it to me. Greg, I don't know if you've had this beer or not, but I am not impressed with this one. This is probably the first one. It's not going to get an A from me, and it's barely into the B category. B minus for me on this one, guys. I'm going to give it an 80. It's not something I would purchase if it was available here. I'm sorry, but I got to be straight up honest with you. I know a lot of these beers that are sent to me, some of you guys might think I'm giving it a better grade than I should because I didn't pay for it and it was sent to me. I can't do it on this one, that's for sure. It is not an impressive beer to me. The only reason I'm giving it a B minus instead of a C is the alcohol is well hidden and it doesn't have any off flavors other than having some grape characteristics to it, which it should not have. I just wanted to taste some nice chocolate notes and some coconut, and it's very lacking in that, guys. So that's where I'm going to put it. B minus for me on this one. We'll go over, and the reason I'm thinking it not sure, may be an older beer because other sites have got pretty decent ratings on it. Beer Advocate has it at 4.07 out of 5, so that's in their A category. It's nowhere near that to me. Over to Untapped. Untapped has it at 3.97, and that's kicking the door down on the A minus scale over there also. So I don't know what to say. I don't know how old the beer is since they don't have any kind of vintage or dating on the bottom of the can. He has sent me one more of this brewery's beers. Hopefully that'll redeem them when we do that one. But this one is not something that's that impressive or I would buy here if it was available. If these guys are distributing their beers out from the brewery into the beer stores, I don't care if it's this style, IPA, double IPA, porter. You need to put a date on it, guys, so we know. I'm thinking I'm drinking an old beer, guys. That's exactly what I'm thinking here. I know Greg had no control over that. He just bought what was on the shelf and was hoping it was going to be tasty and fresh. Greg, I don't know if you got one for yourself or not, but I was not impressed, my brother. So that's where we're going to leave it, guys. If you've had this one from Ben Hill Brewing, this is their double coconut porter. Let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.